guys, thank you so much for joining me to talk about Dimension 20 Gladlands. It's one of the most unique settings we've ever seen in Dimension 20, and as two new players, I want to know how did Sam Reich and David Kearns pitch this season to you? How do they describe Gladlands to you?
Well, I signed on with no pitch. They just were like, "Would you like to do Dimension 20 with all of your friends?" And I said, "Sure."
From an email? You said yes from the email?
I said yes from the email, and then, I waited a couple days because I was like, well, don't be too eager. Hang on, think about this for a second. And then as soon as I got text, I think from you, Vic.
Yeah, I was in Hungary, and you were my first text because I had gotten on a call, because I said no and then got on a call with David Kearns.
Yeah, I think we're learning the difference between the two of us is like Vic gets all the information and then is like, okay, I'll do it. And I get no information. I just kind of wait and I go, I'm sure it'll be fine. And then I do it. So the D20 of it, I was like, sure, I think I can figure this out if all my friends are going to be there. And then it was Brennan who explained to us the Gladlands thing. Were you there? You were on Zoom, Vic, I think.
Yeah.
And he told us the idea, and I was so confused.
You signed on before you even had the pitch of what the thing was, Kimia?
Yeah, look, they told me my friends were gonna be there, and I said, great.
I love that. I didn't know that. That rocks.
Yeah, well, because what? My favorite people are going to let me fail? No, they're going to...
Well, I will say, for me, a peek behind the curtain is, I said no, I got on a call with David Kearns, I got all of the information, I got everybody that was playing, and then I said yes, and then I texted Kimia, and I said, I just said yes to this thing, do you promise you're going to be there? And you said, sure. And then you were there, so that's true. So now it's kind of nice to know what was happening on the other side of the call. A little peek behind the curtain. Kimia, myself, and our good friend Angela Giratana are on a text thread, and anytime any of us gets an offer for something, we just shoot it in the thread and go, are one of you guys going to be there? And if the answer is yes, I usually show up.
Yeah, exactly. It's that easy sometimes.
It's that easy sometimes.
Amazing. And then how much, I think Vic talked a little bit about this in one of the after shows, the adventure party, but how much role-playing experience did you have before, like, jumping into the dome?
Me, I had barely any. I had maybe 2 times I'd played with a group of friends that were pretty rude about playing the game. Not in a fun, funny way. Where
are they going to read this? Are these, because you've now told this story twice, are these friends going to read this and be like, oh no?
They're not going to remember it. It was so long ago, they won't.
So they're not going to know you're talking about them? Drop their names then.
They don't care about me. You know what I mean?
Say their phone numbers.
Okay.
Drop their names and addresses and phone numbers.
No. I had barely any experience, so this was kind of my first real deal time playing a tabletop game like this.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Same for me.
No, Vic, you played.
Vic, did any of those early bird facts about corvid stick with you?
No. And you just said corvid again, and I can't remember what that is. I know it's a bird. Because of the context.
It's a series of birds that are the crows, ravens,
ravens, and jackdaws.
You're doing the same thing you did.
And jays. I added jays without hearing it this time.
Great.
So we've this system uses it's like a fun homebrew of the Kids on Bike system. Did you find that was really easy to pick up? That sort of just a different size dice for each of your abilities?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand it at first at all, but we sort of learned while we played, which I think we never explained any of the rules to anyone watching, but just so everyone knows, we didn't know them either, really. We just kind of, anytime we wanted to make a choice, Brennan would help us and like fold in the rules, and so we were really encouraged to talk about the game structure at the table. Brennan really wanted that because he was like, this is a new homebrew version of something that maybe people haven't played, so if you're confused, they're confused, ask all of the questions. So we were learning as we went, and it actually felt safer that way. You didn't have to bank all the knowledge beforehand and then try to do something right. You could do whatever you wanted and then be told how to do it.
Yeah, and so I didn't really realize that going into it. So I asked, I think, 1.5 million questions on our 0 day, and then I called Sky Smith, our lore keeper, and I go, you have to walk me through this again. And Sky did that twice for me before our first day, and I still was like, oh no, I don't think I get this. But you're totally right. After like that first day of playing, I was like, I get it. I got it. This makes sense. And it's funny because I do think like I'd be curious if people can sort of see that, like, and it sort of is like the arc for the caravan that sort of like we all lock in a little bit more after those first 2 episodes, and we're like, okay, we get it, we got it, we know where we're going.
Amazing. I guess in the latest episode, which at time of recording is like episode 3, there was this hilarious moment where Hoogie kind of, to avoid spoilers, kind of intercepted someone else's big moment. And then the adventuring party, but you were very worried that you had made this big fuck up, but like everyone was sort of very supportive and just like they were talking about like how important it is to take these big swings. As a new player for both of you, was that like a terrifying moment, or was the response to that a moment where you're like, oh wait, I can do my improv background, I can just take huge swings and it will work out?
I wouldn't say it worked out. I would say there's never been a moment more where I saw no improv and only my friends going, when you sort of like misspeak and then it becomes your group thread name, and then, and then people are just like, and then years later, nobody can like exactly remember why it's still the group thread name, but it's like something that people say in conversation all the time. That's kind of what happened there, where it was just like, it was meant to be a little aside, a little sidebar being like, via the character arcs, like Kokomo was really feeling like people weren't paying attention to him most of the day. So it was supposed to just be like a little aside to be like, hey, and you get a championship to like, you win too. And instead everybody went, what are you doing? What are you doing? Which I think that's love, is how I'm choosing to interpret that.
It absolutely is. It's my favorite type of magic moment, where I think what you said was so fun, where you're like, okay, you're looking around at a group of improvisers that suddenly just turned into your group of friends staring back at you. And those are some of my favorite moments in all of improv, or even in playing D20. It's just because we've known each other for so long. It's really fun to be like, Vic, we saw you do that weird thing.
But you can't call it weird, because somebody did point out that just is the plot of Gastronauts. In Gastronauts, you get the cooks get a prize and the judges get a prize. So it was actually synergy. I was trying to advertise.
You were doing that?
I was advertising. Yes, I was. It was on purpose.
Well, then I fully support you, my smart friend.
I will argue prove it. That's going to sort of be my proof that it wasn't.
I believe you.
And then also in that last adventuring party, like Brennan hit on this really big thing, which is this series is all about how violence isn't an answer. It like doesn't make you special or right, but it's much harder to approach things where violence is not the answer. So that's kind of like the central challenge of this season. So did that make your experience tougher or easier, knowing that like, unlike most D&D campaigns, you just can't, kill your way through the problem?
Yeah, I think especially like it's interesting coming in this sort of being our first experience, because that kind of like, this now is my context for like, like this is the, really like the most actual like playtime I've had with like people that are actually like working to tell a story. So I don't know, this is sort of like, this is what I know now. So it'll be interesting if I play anything additional, being like how I approach that. And I do think I think that this will impact how I would play D&D in the future too, because it's like, it is kind of hard to divorce that. It's like, yeah, like, if you are taking an action that is killing someone or something, that does have consequences, that, that does do something to you. It's not just, it could be a victory, it could be necessary. If there's Brennan talked a lot about, like there's like people out there, I think it was in the first episode where he was talking about like something happened and it reminded the people in like the salt area that like, oh yeah, like not that long ago things were really scary and really bad, and is it going to go back to being that way? And like I think a lot of those motivations are out of fear and self-preservation, but it doesn't mean that there's not consequences to it. So
yeah, it was almost simpler to play as someone who also hadn't played any combat heavy versions of this. This played to what I think is a skill set that I have and that Vic has and that everybody at that table has, is just to process things emotionally. Like, it's harder to do because it feels more uncomfortable. But in my mind, it would be also harder to be like, and I find a magic rock and I send it through the air and it knocks you out. I don't know.
You'd be so good. No, you'd be so good at that. Even just right there, I was like, yes, perfect.
She's got the magic rock spell. We know it.
Yeah.
All right. I know we're wrapping up here, but I like to end with a little quick lightning round, little fun game. Famously, this campaign was described as Care Bear meets Mad Max. And so we're going to play a quick game of Care Bear or Wasteland Warrior.
Okay.
You just have to tell me if the following name is from the Care Bear series or the Mad Max series.
Ooh,
Okay.
I can't wait.
All right, first up, one that could go either way, the koala.
Mad
I'm gonna
Max.
go Mad Max.
The koala is the official Australian Care Bear.
Care Bear. I say Care Bear.
Okay, fine.
Next up, Dinky D.
Care Bear.
Mad Max.
Dinky D is Mad Max. It's a little mutant guy.
Okay, cool.
All right, Hope.
Hope.
Care
That's a
Bear.
Care Bear.
Hope is a Mad Max character from
Mad
the
Max. I said Mad Max from the comics. I
That's
literally
crazy.
said that.
I had the Hope Care Bear. Come on.
Capable.
Capable. That's a Care Bear.
Care Bear.
Another weird Mad Max
Mad
character.
Max. I said that,
These
and
are
I
Care
was
Bears.
also like, you didn't let me finish. I said Care Bear, Mad Max.
Yes.
Let's not let Vic
Care
answer.
Bear, ... What I mean to say is Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Last one, Amigo.
Mad Max.
It's a Care Bear.
Amigo is a Care Bear.
Care Bear. Mad Max. Care Bear.
Care Bear. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to see the rest of Gladlands. It's one of my favorite Dimension 20 series so far, and thank you so much for joining us
Peter.
today.
Wow,
Thank you so much.